Hi, welcome to Storytime Science. I'm here at the Exploratorium, and today we're going to read a book called Oscar and the Bat, a book about sound, written and illustrated by Geoff Waring. Oscar and the Bat. One summer evening in the meadow, Oscar heard a new sound. He looked around to see who was making it. Cheep, 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 cheep. Bat swooped by. "It's the baby blackbirds," he said. "Their nest is over there in the bush." "Oh," said Oscar, "I can hear them even though I can't see them." "Yes," said Bat. "Our ears help us know what's around us, even when our eyes can't." Then Oscar heard another sound. Tweet, 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 tweet. This time he could see who was making it. "The blackbird's singing to warn other blackbirds to stay away from his nest," Bat said. Oscar thought it was the most beautiful sound he had ever heard. "I wish I could sing like a blackbird." "Kittens can make other sounds," Bat said. "So can bats." And Bat goes, "Squeak." And Oscar goes, "Meow." "We make sounds in our throats," Bat went on, "but some animals talk with different parts of their bodies. Many male grasshoppers talk to female grasshoppers by rubbing their wings together. Some cockroaches hiss to one another through holes along their sides. When they nest, some male hummingbirds make a loud sound with their wings to warn other birds away. Bottlenose dolphins send messages to one another underwater through their blowholes. The tips of rattlesnakes' tails have hard connecting ridges. If other animals come too close, the snakes lift and shake their tails." "Are all sounds talking sounds?" Oscar asked. "Lots are," Bat said, "but almost everything makes a sound when it moves. Close your eyes and listen. What can you hear moving in the meadow?" "Grass makes no sound when it's still, but it swishes when the wind moves it. Machines are still and silent until they're switched on. Then their engines move and make noises. Boom. Still water in a pond is silent, but moving water makes sounds. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle." Oscar could hear another sound. It was in the sky. "What's that rumbling?" he asked. "Thunder," said Bat. "There's a storm coming. Even though it's far away, we can still hear the thunder because it's such a big sound. Rumble, 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 rumble." Oscar opened his eyes. "It's getting louder," he said. "The thunder's coming this way," Bat said. "The closer it is to us, the louder it sounds to us. Rumble, crash, and when a big noise is very near. It sounds very loud indeed, Bat shouted as Oscar leaped away. Safe under the leaves, Oscar listened to raindrops falling. The rain is very near too, he said, but it isn't scary. The rain is making a gentle sound, said Bat, not a harsh sound like the thunder. When the rain stopped, Oscar put out his head to listen. Is the thunder going away now? He asked. Yes, said Bat. The farther it is from us, the quieter it sounds to us. Then it was gone. I can't hear anything, Oscar whispered. No, whispered Bat. This is silence. Or it would be if we weren't whispering. But just then, moo! The cow sounds a bit like thunder, said Oscar. Yes, said Bat. Cows make a deep sound. It's low and rumbly. It isn't high and squeaky, like the sound the baby birds make. Now the blackbirds started to sing again. That's still my favorite sound, said Oscar. It keeps changing, and it's never too loud and scary or too high and squeaky. It's just right, like music. And he started to purr. And that's my favorite sound, said Oscar's mother, who had come to fetch him. But Oscar and Bat were listening so hard, they didn't notice. Time for sound activities. Now, I did some sound activities in the October Halloween episode, but these sound activities will be really different. Okay, what is sound? Sound is vibration. And what's vibration? Vibration means that something is shaking. So I'm going to clap my hands, and we'll see if it makes a sound. Did that make a sound? No. How come? You're absolutely right, because I went too slowly. I'm now really going to clap. Now you heard the sound, and you heard the sound because when my palms came together, when my hands came together, it pushed some air out of the way. And when that air pushed out of the way, it sort of was almost like dominoes. It was the little bit of air that was in between my hands pushed the next little bit of air, and that pushed the next little bit of air, and that little bit of air pushed the next little bit of air, all the way until it got to your ears. And actually, sound travels all over the place at the same time. So if you were standing over there, or standing over there, or standing in front of me, you still would have heard it. It's just pushing the air away, and that causes the air to vibrate. Now, let me try something else vibrating. All right, I just have a single rubber band. I'm going to try this. Let's see if it works the first time. If not, I'll just do it until I get it right. So you can actually probably see the rubber band vibrating as I'm blowing air through it. I've also stretched the rubber band out quite a bit so that it'll shake or vibrate even more. Now, vibrations are happening around us all the time. Probably you're hearing sounds all over your house, even very quiet sounds. Like in the book that we just read, Oscar and the Bat. At one point they talk about a machine. Like machines, when they're turned off, they won't make a sound. But if they're turned on, their motors make a sound. So let's say you have a balloon. Now, balloons, not a lot of people have them around anymore. They're not really environmentally friendly. So you don't want to go out and buy a balloon just to do this. But if you happen to have a balloon sitting around the house from like a while ago, blow it up And what you're going to do, this is going to be your main instrument for doing a sound safari around your house. Blow up a balloon, and then you want to make as much contact between the palm of each hand and the inside of your fingers and on the other hand as well, so that your hands are holding onto the balloon with as much surface area of your hands touching the balloon. So you don't want to hold it like this. You want to hold it like this. And then the first thing you want to do, you can talk to yourself. You do not need to put your lips on the balloon. In fact, it's better if you don't. So if you just have the balloon about this far away from your mouth and you talk to yourself, "Hi, self, how you doing today? Sitting at home? Yeah, I came to the Exploratorium today to do Storytime Science." You should be able to feel the balloon vibrating because of the sound that you're making with your vocal cords and your mouth. And you could even sing to yourself, la la la. You can also go around your house, like walk up to your refrigerator. You don't even need to actually touch the balloon to the refrigerator. Just go close to the refrigerator, and your refrigerator has a motor. And hopefully your refrigerator is on because it's keeping your food cold and your frozen foods frozen. And you should be able to feel your refrigerator vibrating. You may not be able to hear the sound that well, it's quiet, but you should be able to feel the sound. If there's a radio on in your house or the TV, again, you don't have to actually touch the radio or touch the TV. Just go up really close to it and feel for. Now, you should be able to hear the sounds coming out of your radio and the sounds coming out of your TV. You'll be able to hear those also. But you should also be able to feel the sounds vibrating the balloon. So that's your sound safari, something you can do at home if you have a balloon at home. Don't go out buying balloons if you don't have one handy, because like I said, they're not really good for the environment, and that's something that we very, very conscious 21st century people are staying away from. All right, the next thing we're going to do is, and again, I'm going to show this to you because, once again, we're going to use some plastic straws. And I don't even think that plastic straws are sold here in San Francisco where we are anymore. They're also not really good. People have moved to paper straws. But unfortunately, paper straws are not really good for making a straw oboe, which is what we're going to do. So I'm just going to demonstrate it for you. And the reason I'm going to demonstrate it is so that you understand the difference between volume and pitch. Volume is how soft or how loud a sound is. Pitch is how high or how low a sound is. It's very distinctly different. Sometimes really little kids don't really understand the difference between high and loud, but there is a difference, or low and soft. All right. In the Science Explorer, which is an Exploratorium book, and I think it may also be on our website, you can use, again, a plastic straw. Works for this. Paper straw doesn't really work. And I cut a little reed into the top of the straw, and I'm just going to blow through it. I'm not actually making a sound with my voice. I'm just blowing air through it, and that's going to make these two little cuts I made vibrate. See if I get it the first time. Okay, I did. So that's sort of a medium sound in terms of pitch. It's not too deep or low. It's not too high. Now, I have put together a bunch of straws. I put together 4 straws to make a really long straw. So where this is kind of a medium tone sound, now I'm going to try and make a really, really low sound by putting these 4 straws together. It's a longer or bigger straw. So let's hear what the sound's going to be like. Ooh, excuse me. That actually kind of sounds like a foghorn. It gets very foggy here in San Francisco, and the ships need to hear those foghorns. So now that's a very low-pitched sound or a very deep sound. It's not quiet, but it is deep and low. Now I'm going to try getting to a really, really high-pitched sound. Oh, my voice went kind of high there too. Okay, let me try doing this. Flying bits of straw here. Let me try and go even higher. I'm going to cut off the last bit. Let's see how high I can get. High in pitch, I can get this sound. Wow, that's a really high-pitched sound. It's loud, but it's high in pitch. It's squeaky. You can compare the length of this straw with the length of this straw. Let's give that foghorn one more try because it sounds so cool. The other thing that's really interesting is as I'm blowing through it, it makes my lips tickle because the tip of the straw is vibrating. So because my lips are touching it, my lips vibrate too. It's feeling the sound as well as hearing the sound. Okay, now let's go ahead and make something. For this, you're going to need a popsicle stick. Ooh, that one's a little bit bent. Let me see if I find one that's a little straighter. Good, a popsicle stick. You're going to need 2 cap erasers. These are cap erasers. They're the ones that go on top of your pencil. Now you want 2 of them, and you're going to put them on to the ends of your popsicle stick. And you don't want your popsicle stick like this. You want it like this. Now the cap eraser is going to go on to one end with the flat part, not the more edge part of the cap eraser. So here is the flat part of the cap eraser. And that flat part is going to align with the flat part of the popsicle stick. So flat cap eraser, flat popsicle stick. And I'm going to do the same on the other end. So I have, let's see, I have yellow on this end. Let's try green on this end. And once again, and I'm going to make sure that they're on there nice and securely. So once again, flat part of the cap eraser, flat part of the popsicle stick, flat part of the other cap eraser. The next thing we're going to do is take an index card. The cool thing about using an index card, besides the fact that it helps the sound, and I'll tell you why in a second, you want to fold it in 2. You can draw something like maybe, since we call this the buzzing bee, you can draw a picture of a bee on here, or a butterfly, or a fly, or a mosquito. And just to kind of make it cooler when you start buzzing it. Now, I have the index card that I folded in 2. And I'm going to take that popsicle stick, and I'm going to sort of make a popsicle stick sandwich with the 2 halves of the index card as the bread. So I'm going to put it in like this. And now you want this index card to stay in place. So what I've got here is a really strong stapler. If you have a really strong stapler that can actually staple through wood, good for you. If you don't, you can put a little glue on the inside or a little bit of tape on the inside. The main thing is you don't want this index card to flop around or fall off. So I am going to actually staple through the index card and through the wood, not over the wood, but actually right there in the middle of where the wood is. This is a strong stapler. And now you can see there's the staple. And you can see that it's not shaking off, it's not flying off, it's really stable, it's on there. Okay, the next step is we're going to add a piece of string. And you don't want the string to be too thick, but you could also like use yarn, even thin string, even thread will work. And right between one of the cap erasers, it doesn't matter which one, and the card, there's a little bit of wood that you can still see. That's where I'm going to tie the string. So I have a piece of string. You don't want it too long, but you don't want it too short either because you're going to be swinging it around. You don't want it to hit the ground if you're not super tall like me, but you don't want it too short that you can't give it a good swing. Now I am tying this on with, whoops, at least a double knot, maybe even a triple knot. And I will show you the tie once I've finished tying it. All right, I did what they call a square knot, so it should be nice and secure. So there it is in between the index card and the cap eraser. And the last part is you want to add the rubber band. Now, with the knot that I've made, I want to make sure that that little knot right there does not touch the rubber band at all. I'm going to put the rubber band on. And where are my rubber bands? Here we go. This is a good size rubber band. If it's even wider than this, that's good. But no thinner than this, or it won't make so much of a sound. But also you can see the length of this rubber band. And you want it to be a little bit stretched out. If it stretches out a little bit, it'll vibrate better and make a better sound. So now what you want to do is you want to stretch this rubber band between the two cap erasers. And while you're doing this, you want to make extra sure that there is no twist in the rubber band. If there is a twist in the rubber band like that, it's not going to be able to vibrate really well. So I'm going to make sure that this rubber band is nice and tight, but stretched really well between the two cap erasers so that it'll vibrate the best that it can. And again, I want to make sure that the knot of the string is not bumping into the rubber band, because that will also stop the rubber band from vibrating. So there you are. And there's the other side. All right, so here is our buzzing bee. Let's see if it actually buzzes. I didn't have time to do a drawing on it, but that's okay. You can do one if you make one. All right? Kind of want to be quiet because, you know, bees are pretty small, so they don't make really, really loud noises. Let me try holding the string a little bit shorter. Poetry Corner. This poem is by Shel Silverstein. It's called Noise Day. Let's have one day for girls and boyses when you can make the grandest noises. Screech, scream, holler, and yell. Buzz a buzzer, clang a bell. Sneeze, hiccup, whistle, shout, laugh until your lungs wear out. Toot a whistle, kick a can, bang a spoon against a pan. Sing, yodel, bellow, hum, blow a horn, beat a drum. Rattle a window, slam a door, scrape a rake across the floor. Use a drill, drive a nail, Turn the hose on the garbage pail. Shout, Yahoo! Hurrah! Hooray! Turn up the music all the way. Try and bounce your bowling ball. Ride a skateboard up the wall. Chomp your food with a smack and a slurp. Chew, chomp, hiccup, burp. One day a year, do all of these. The rest of the days, be quiet, please.